विष्णुपदाय विष्णुप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने. Everybody, Namo Vishnupadaya Vishnuprasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Asatya Deshatarine. Namaste Prabhupada. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Asatya Deshata. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome all of you. This slave session is a very, very important one because it is based on 2.56 to 2.72 verses of the Bhagavad Gita, second chapter. And although it looks like some management technique that you are learning in this, it is actually a very fundamental topic in Bhagavad Gita and very vital one. If I tell you an example, it will immediately click for you. Arjuna is asking a question to Krishna. He is asking, Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sthitadi kim pravasheta kim asita prajeta kim. He is asking, my dear Krishna, please tell me, who is a self-realized person? That is the first question. And when he is situated in samadhi, in realized state, how does he sit? How does he speak? How does he walk? Totally 4 questions he has asked. So, who is a person? Who is a self-realized person? What are his lakshanas? Symptoms. Then he is asking, how does he sit, speak, and walk? And these are explained by Vishwanath Thakur in his commentary. He says, who is a Siddhaprajna means is lakshanas. Like, for example, a wealthy person you can know by certain lakshanas. Like, he's wearing a costly dress, he eats costly food, comes in a costly car, his bungalow is pretty big. You can see those lakshanas and know who is a very rich fellow. And what are the people who are around him. Aristocratic circles and all that. Similarly, a sick person, you know, by his coughing and mucus and, he's sickly. You know symptoms. Prabhupada says a fool is unrecognized until he speaks, until he opens his mouth. So, there are 2 very important things that are said to know what type of person we are. The way we speak and the way we behave. You may say, are these not very external way of assessing a person? But I can show you quotes from Chaitanya Charitamrita also. It emphasizes a lot on behavior and quite a bit on speaking also. How we speak, how we behave. So that's the first question about lakshanas, symptoms. Then he's asking, how does he sit? Means, how is he situated in this world which is full of, temptations and tribulations. So temptations are allurements which may come to attract a person's mind and tempt him to, go for a lower nature of behavior. And tribulations are provocations. Like we are going in the road with a car, somebody is cutting this side and going ahead, overtaking you. They're supposed to go from here. They didn't even take permission from you. They're suddenly cutting and you are in the middle of the road. You don't know which side to go. Cars are coming on both sides. So you get provoked by somebody's speech or somebody's behavior. So Arjuna is basically asking, how does he behave when someone shows affection to him or somebody shows anger towards him or somebody shows neutrality towards him? How does he behave with these people? That is one question, his behavior towards such people. That means how does he speak? That means how does he speak back? Does he retaliate back? When somebody is angry towards him, does he also show tit for tat anger? Or somebody is affectionate, does he consider them as his friend? Because they are affectionate. In this world, like the gopis were talking to Krishna also after the rasa dance when Krishna came back. They said in this world, mother, like father, well-wishers, they actually do good to their dependents even without the dependents doing anything in return for them. They have a very natural position like that. On the other hand, business partners generally strike a relation with you based on what you can give them back. Accordingly, they will consider you as worthy to connect or not connect. So they are talking about these things. Similarly, this person, Sitaprangi as a person, when he hears somebody criticizing him, does he perceive it as an enemy? Does he perceive that person as an enemy? Isn't it? I'll tell you one real example from Chaitanya Leela. You know, when Jagadananda Pandit wanted to go to Vrindavan, first of all, Mahaprabhu told him no. Flat no, he told him, no, you cannot go. It's not good for you. And there is a reason for that. Anybody knows who is Jagadananda Pandit in Krishna Leela? Anybody knows? Yeah? Satyabhama. Yeah. In Chaitanya Leela becomes Jagadananda Pandit. And who is Gadadhar Pandit in Krishna Leela? Yeah? Radharani, correct? Of course, we call as Radharani, but she had the bhava of Rukmini. Huh? Rukmini type of softness. So, so you will find Gadadhar Pandit, because he is Satyabhama in Krishna Leela, you will find that there are certain pastimes mentioned in Prema Vivarta. You will see that Jagadanath Pandit always would want to see Mahaprabhu getting facilities to lead a happy life. He would think that Mahaprabhu would jump up and come to the ground, dashing to ground. So he thought his bone shouldn't break. He shouldn't hurt himself. So he would make very nice, soft beds and give it to Govinda and tell Govinda that please kindly provide this to Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu didn't accept. He said, this is no good for a sannyasi. I cannot sleep in a comfortable bed. Then what he did, he made chatai type of bed only, but he filled it with lot of banana trunk fibers, dry fibers. He fitted. Mahaprabhu lied down and said, how this chatai is so cushioned? He was wondering. Then he said, even this I cannot accept. Mahaprabhu didn't want anything that comforts his body. He wanted to lie flat on the ground. So Jagadan became very disheartened. One day he brought very nice scented oils and gave it to Govinda and said, see, when you massage Mahaprabhu's body, use this oil. So when Govinda went and showed this to Mahaprabhu, fragrant oil, Mahaprabhu said, this tail, such a fragrant oil is not for a sannyasi. Am I a Vishayi? So I'm a, like we said, Shillongs and penny man who has lot of money, like a Jamindar or somebody who's enjoying all this. I am a monk. He said, how can I use this? And then Mahaprabhu added one more thing. He said, this is more suitable for lighting the lamp of Lord Jagannath. Because the Jagannath's lamp should brightly show his beauty. And this also should, be very fragrant and must be very pleasing to Jagannath. Like that he said. So later on, when Jagadanath Pandit asked Govinda, when Govinda said this, Jagadanath became so upset. He came in front of Mahaprabhu, he took that pot and he threw it to the ground. That all, he broke it. And Mahaprabhu wanted to tell him something before he broke and he couldn't speak anything. He said, no, I didn't give you this oil. Who said that? And he broke it. So he was very upset and he went back and Mahaprabhu came to know that he is fasting. He started eating anything, 1 or 2 days. Then Mahaprabhu, you know what he did? He told his servant to tell Jagadanand Pandit that I am coming to take prasadam cooked by him, he said. Then Mahaprabhu went for lunch prasad. And Jagadanand Pandit put a big leaf plate and he was serving Mahaprabhu. And he would keep so much huge quantity of rice and Mahaprabhu couldn't speak a word because of fear. If I say anything, he should not become again upset. So whatever he gave, he ate, Mahaprabhu. After that, Mahaprabhu told him to eat himself. He wasn't eating. He was feeding other Vaishnavas. But Mahaprabhu wanted to make sure that he eats. 2 days he didn't eat anything. So after feeding everybody, at last he ate. And then he had a smile on his face. He was very satisfied. So Mahaprabhu used to be very careful and cautious with him. So the same Jagadanand Pandit, now he wishes to go to Vrindavan. But Mahaprabhu thought that with me he can be angry like this. But if he goes to Vrindavan, and if he shows such anger with the Vijayabasis, what will happen? That was his fear. So initially he told him no. But later on, Jagannath Pandit went to Mahaprabhu's very intimate associate. Anybody knows? Anybody knows? Swarup Damodar, yeah. But Swarup Damodar requests something, he cannot say no, Mahaprabhu. So then Swarup Damodar requested Mahaprabhu, allow him, he is very much desperate to go. Okay, Mahaprabhu then instructed him. He said, okay, you can go for 2 or 4 days, stay with Sanatana Goswami, don't mix with Vijavasis. They are spontaneous devotees, you will misunderstand them, you will have fight with them, don't do that. He agreed, he went. And you should come back as soon as possible, he told him. So, when he went to Vrindavan, he stayed with Sanatana Goswami. Here comes the main point which I am about to say. Sanatana Goswami's behavior is a very, very extraordinary behavior. When Sanatana went to the nearby temple to procure some rice and vegetables, uncooked rice and uncooked vegetables, they would be providing for the sadhus in charity. In the temple, because many rich people will come and give charity to temple, and the temple will provide for the sadhus. So he went to receive that. So he went. So when he brought that back, he was wearing one turban over his head, like a saffron turban he was wearing, Sanatan. So Jagannath Pandit was cooking in the kitchen. He turned around and said, oh, Sanatan, you are wearing a beautiful turban. I think Lord Chaitanya Dev must have gifted you sometime. He loves you very much. Like that he told him. And Sanatan wasn't aware. He very frankly told the truth. No, I went to this temple. There is one Mukundanand Saraswati. He gave me this turban. He gave me this cloth. So I was wearing it in my head, he said. Immediately, Jagadanand flared up. He picked up a pot and he lifted it and came to hit Sanatan. He said, what? He's a Mayavadi sannyasi and he gives you a cloth and you are wearing it on your head. How dare you do that? What will Lord Chaitanya think about you? Like that he said. To that, how did Sanatan respond? Sanatan smiled and said, Jagadanand, I deeply appreciate your loyalty to Lord Chaitanya Deva. I wish I could be as loyal as you in my dealing with Lord Chaitanya Deva. Like that he said. After hearing this, Jagadananda felt so shy. He again put the pot down from where he lifted it. And he felt ashamed for having behaved very strongly with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here is an example of a Sthita Prajna. Who is it? Sthita Prajna in this case? Sanatana Goswami, yeah. If somebody is taking a pot to hit on your head, how will you respond? Sanatana is responding like that. So, very ideal response Sanatana showed. Very patient, very polite, well behaved. One of the reasons for that is he had great love for Jagadananda. Since beginning, he knew that his heart is full of love, because there are many devotees you will find, they do lot of service. They have a lot of love for Prabhupada. But their behavior may not be up to the mark. Sometimes they become extremely angry. Sometimes they have too many expectations. Sometimes in certain situations they may appear to be selfish. Sometimes. So in such situations, how are we to behave with them? So this can be very challenging for us many times. And so sometimes we commit mistakes, sometimes they commit mistakes also. Therefore, this topic is not an ordinary topic. It's a very, very vital topic on our behavior, our speech, and the root of both these things is thought. In fact, thought is the first thing. It is said, watch your thoughts, they can turn into words. Watch your words, they can turn into actions. Watch your actions, they can become habits. Yeah. And watch your habits, they can become character. Yeah. Watch your character, it can become your culture. That means from thought to culture, there are many intermediate steps, but everything begins with a thought. What do you think about others? Because Sanatan lovingly saw Jagadananda Pandit, therefore he could not become angry with him. Same thing happens with parents also. When parents, lovingly see the children, they develop naturally patience and tolerance. That's one of the reasons. When you see somebody with eyes of love, therefore, in Vaishnava circle also, when you see somebody with eye of sympathy, eye of compassion, and eye of gratitude, and with the eyes of thankfulness for all the gifts you received from them, So, and look at them, by looking at them, you think of their good qualities, or what they have done for Prabhupada's mission, and what they have done for me. So, when you think of those kind of thoughts, it's difficult for you to respond or react in a very harsh way. It's not possible. So, therefore, there are devotees with whom we are upset, but at the same time, we don't express anger because we are grateful for many other things we have received from them. That's so that type of So our inner attitude eventually comes out. Therefore, the thought is the most important thing. What kind of thought we have about people around us, and thought resides in the mind. So in our mind, in case we hold perceptions about others. Now, and the perceptions are not favorable perceptions, they are unfavorable perceptions. Those perceptions are going to immediately, like the antenna on. Mind will say, oh, that person is like that. And I know what that person is. He said this to me when in 1996. Where is 1996 and what is the year now? We know only that much about the person. People change so much. Yeah. Somebody was a boy, now he got married, he has 3 children now, and he has changed so many companies, he has served in so many devotee communities, and he has become more mature now. But you consider the old impressions we may carry, due to which we don't look at them compassionately, or we don't look at them with the benefit of doubt. We don't look at them with gratitude. And we don't look at them with all the volume of services they have done for decades. We don't see those things. We write it all off very conveniently, as if they are all useless or something. And we only hold one small perception which we observed, some 2 decades ago. And in this way, you will see that these are some of the problems of the conditioned souls. And therefore, to know about a realized soul is very valuable. How a realized soul behaves, beginning with thinking, and then speaking, and then behaving. So, learning that is very helpful. And also, after learning, at least we should develop a eagerness to modify our thinking, our attitude, our behavior. Also, this seminar will also help us in many other things, not only behaving with others. For example, there is something called self-awareness. First, you become aware of yourself, and then self-management comes. Managing our emotions, managing our speech, our thought, our behavior comes much later. First, we have to what we have to do? Observe. It's called as self-observation. Which is called self-observation is called self-awareness. First, you observe and then become aware. What is my inner climate? What type of person am I? When do I do what? How do I respond? What others? For example, I ask one of you, what your other devotees think of you? That you can only write. If you write, for example, what others think of me? How do you know what others think of you? Because they have told you also. Sometimes. Somebody has told you, don't be lazy, do something solid. Or somebody has told you, don't be angry. Or somebody has told you, don't be irresponsible. You say you will do it and you don't do it. And you will see that only one person doesn't say it. Many people have told. And that's how we all know what others think of me. And what I think of myself, that also we can write. Generally, we think about ourselves good or bad. Very good. One seminar was given by Anuttam Prabhu. He asked all the leaders, how many of you are empowering leaders? Everybody raised hand. He said, I asked the wrong person, he said. I asked you wrong people. Whether you are empowering leader or not, whom should I ask? I should ask you or the subordinates. Yeah. And then he asked, how many of you are sensitive leaders? Then all the leaders raised hand. So subordinates are in next room. So Prabhuji went and asked, how many of your leaders you feel, are very sensitive? Only very few people raised hand. And he found out the leaders' names and he found out and checked. And in this room he came, of course he checked how many of you are sensitive leaders. And those who didn't raise hand, they were the sensitive. Understand? And those who claimed to be sensitive, They were thinking they are sensitive. That means our estimation of ourselves is generally on, because we tend to think that I'm great, I'm doing very great. Generally we think like that. So in case it matches with what others think of you and you think of yourself also, that means you are realistic in life. You are not idealistic. Idealistic means we have an imagination that everybody should understand how wonderful I am and everybody should love me, everybody should respect me and everybody should do what I say and that kind of things we have. So in order to come out of that, we have to be realistic about what others feel and what others say. And others actually, many times you find people come and openly tell us, they are not happy with us for something. Sometimes we don't keep promises. We make a promise and we don't keep promise. We change it last minute. And people get put off by that. So, this way, self-observation means you have to observe yourself. You can also take others' inputs also. There's a peer feedback, superior feedback, self-feedback, we call it. Based on these three. Your superiors also have told you certain things. You should do this or don't do this. And equals have told you. And then you yourself know it also. And for example, sometimes others feel that we are very rigid. We are not flexible in decision making. So they told us. Then we can note down. So what we can try to do, become little less rigid. Next time give others opportunity to express their opinions and be willing to forego our opinion. That means you're making a progress in that way. Correct, no? Similarly, somebody may think that, you always talk about yourself. You don't talk about others. You don't talk about others. You don't appreciate others. Or you don't encourage others. Then one can actually increase that compliment giving habit of appreciating others. So, in case people feel that sometimes we don't trust others. So you have many subordinates, you may not trust them. You may fear that they may do something wrong. Like parents, for example, when their children are small, they are totally dependent on the parents, correct, no? How many of you have children who have grown beyond 10 years? Any of the parents here? You have children grown beyond 10 years, correct? Yeah. Now when the children come to 10, 12 and all, they want you to trust them, correct, no? They want you to trust them. And they want you to give them freedom or they want you to keep them in your pocket? Freedom they want. But we have fear to give freedom, correct, no? So you will see that, and therefore some of them are unhappy. Some of the children are unhappy, you will find that. So in this way, we all can see that self-observation and then hearing from others, it all helps overall. After making self-observation, you are aware. Self-aware means you are aware. What type of person am I? How do I think? How do I speak? How do I behave? What is my inner attitude, inner mechanism? And what do I need to modify? Now, this is not only about dealing with people. This is also to do with our attitude towards things we do. For example, somebody makes a plan. He takes a vow that, I will do this. And we don't stick to it many times. We make a plan. Like we said, every day 1 hour I will read Prabhupada's book. And this time to this time. And when that time comes, something else comes up. Life becomes busy. And then you will find one day you read 15 minutes, one day you didn't read at all. Sometimes you read half an hour. It becomes very sporadic in reading. Correct, no? Similarly, somebody makes a plan that I will, now I have obesity. To reduce obesity, I will go and do some yoga. One thing, I will do yoga and I will not eat junk food. Correct, no? I will eat salads. But none of it happens. We continue eating same junk food. And we also don't do yoga. We don't eat salads. Like one fellow who had a big obesity fellow, he was telling, doctors told him to eat salads. He said, as much salad as you want, you can eat. But you cannot touch junk food. When he came back, he was so upset. Am I a horse to eat that? He's asking. Then why did you go to the doctor if you don't want to follow him? So many times we say that we know what is good, but we are not able to follow it. That means this is a bad habit of the mind. It knows what is correct, but still it doesn't want to implement it. So you can also observe how our mind is adamant in order to not implement the things which are right for us. For example, how many of you know very well the glory of sleeping early and rising early? You heard the glories, you all agree, right? But how many of you feel it's difficult to sleep early? Correct, no? You will see that. So, that means many a times we are aware of what is good for us, but we are unable to implement. Between awareness and implementation, there seems to be something missing. Some gap is there. So, what all you think can help you fill up that gap? Anybody can say? Mike will come to you. How do you move from the platform of awareness of your deficiency and successful implementation and overcoming that deficiency? What all? There's one hand up there. Yes. Determination. Okay, very good.
We take association of those who are actually able to implement.
Okay.
We try to see what are their thought process and how we can also try to.
Okay, so this one association of people who are also making effort in the same manner,
Yes.
like-minded devotees, like many are trying to sleep early and rise early, so you will connect with them. And then you also go to that room where everybody goes to sleep early.
We can take his help also.
Yeah, we can take association, that's true, yeah. One more thing we can do is people who have already succeeded, you can go and ask them, how did you succeed? So they are like role models, they are like heroes. You can go and ask them also. Right now. And also you can make landmark, what do you call it? Milestones, we call it. Don't try to suddenly sleep very early. Imagine you were sleeping at 11. Now you want to sleep at 8:30. Is it possible? Suddenly it's not possible. Keep milestones. Okay. From 11, I'll sleep at 10:30 this month, and then 10 o'clock next month or whatever, gradually. So you can have small milestone. It's like watermelon is difficult to eat, but if you cut it, you can eat even 4 watermelons also you can eat if somebody cuts and gives you. So go for milestones, small milestones to improve. So milestone is one thing, and associating with the role model is another thing. Ask them queries, questions. How did you make it? How do you do that? And also be with those, in the company of those who are already doing it. I'm already endeavoring for it. It's called as birds of the same feather flock together. Okay, these things you can do, that is true. But you need some inner qualities to be able to successfully implement it. One he has released, which is determination as character. Any other quality you need for you to move from awareness of the deficiency to go to implementation? Yes? Okay, he's saying continuity. Yes. Okay. Make a plan and a broad vision. Okay. Huh? And trainer is required. Okay. Somebody should train us. Okay. Yes. Very good point. Making ourselves, you thought of it also? Yeah. Make yourself accountable to somebody whom you adore and whom you can report to, and then you can get an appreciation or encouragement for having done that. Very good. Yeah. Yes. To please Guru. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. To please Guru, you may do that. Yes. Okay. Okay. So we're taking feedback from others. Okay. To improve. Okay. So 3 qualities are very important. Utsaha, Nishchayat, Dhairya. You are about to say that? What? He's saying that failures will come our way, but don't get disheartened. Like I make a plan. Sometimes things go according to plan, sometimes it doesn't go. So if you slip from the plan, don't worry. Again, get up and continue walking. You be like a bouncing ball. Throw the ball, it comes back. Don't be like a glass ball. Be like a rubber ball. When somebody throws you down, again you jump back. That's one meaning of enthusiasm. Enthusiasm means you go from, one failure to another without losing the spirit. You say like that. Okay, that's such a good point. But the 3 words which are said by Rupa Goswami, Utsaha, Nishyat and Dhairyat, they are very important. Utsaha means enthusiasm, and Dhairyat means patience. See, they are opposite qualities. Utsaha means you're very super spirited, but the patience, it tempers your enthusiasm. Because one has to be reasonable, not only just having utsaha. One also should have patience to achieve the result. Like there is one pastime in Ramayana. There was one Sampati. It's actually a brother of Jatayu. He tried to protect Jatayu when they went up in the sky close to the sun. So the wings got burned. But one Nishakara Muni told him that you will get back your wings, but it will take a long time. You have to be patient. So he was very patient. And he had told him that when some monkeys come, you will give them information and then your wings will grow. And that took him 8,000 years in in Treta Yuga. 8,000 years it took him. He patiently waited. When he told the news about Sita to Vanaras, immediately he got the wing. But he was very patiently waiting. Correct, no? Yeah. So one requires patience also. So, Utsaha Nishchaya Dharya, that's the thing. So, we will also learn something like this also. Not only dealing with people, dealing with our habits, dealing with our own natures. How many of you are sometimes angry with your nature? Angry with your nature, certain natures, correct? No? Yeah, that is actually the good beginning for a reform. If you don't feel angry with yourself for certain natures and habits and tendencies which you have observed, then there is not going to be much change, because in this world, good things have happened only by protest. Without protest, reform doesn't come. If you are not upset with ourselves, we are going to take things for granted and go on in the same manner, routine. So, we should know what is the ideal behavior and what is my current behavior, and how to go from the current deficient behavior to ideal behavior. Behavior, attitude, thinking, all those things will come in this seminar. All of them are very important. So, I told you about self-observation now and self-awareness, being aware of our own self. So, in our body, there is gross body, which we shall see, then the subtle body, and there is soul inside. The soul has no defect. Soul is completely pure. It's very divine also, soul, being part and parcel of Krishna. But where is the real problem? In the subtle body. Subtle body is the real problem. So, therefore, there are two words used in Sanskrit. Shama and Dhamma are used. Shama means 10 senses. Dhamma. Dhamma means 10 senses. 5 jnanendriyas, 5 karmendriyas. Giving them the proper direction and controlling them. And Shama means inner senses, which are Man, Buddhi, Ahankar, Chitta. Man, Buddhi, Ahankar, Chitta. Making sure that they are controlled. So, for example, in the outside world, you get many stimuli, like somebody becomes angry on you. Or you see something and become greedy. I also want such a big car. I also want a big bungalow. Oh, that the dress so-and-so is wearing is looking so nice. How costly it is. Even if it is 20,000, I want to buy it. At any cost, you see and become attracted. So you become greedy, you become lusty, you become angry by the external stimuli that comes. And then when you close your eyes to the external world, then the inner world starts. Inside there is already many things in our inner mind mechanism, the Purva Janma Vasanas which we are carrying. That also has lust, anger, greed and all these things, desires. So, therefore that's called Shama. Dhamma means externally you control the 10 senses, and Shama means internal senses one is controlled. These two are actually practiced by every sadhaka. So, as Krishna devotees, we can't take the practice of Krishna consciousness very cheaply. We can't take it very lightly. We also have to, like you will see that if we are careless in our behavior or speech or thinking, we may commit aparadhas. There is a great possibility. For example, somebody has a habit of speaking prajalpa. But they have a habit of that. And they never controlled it. Over the years, it increases or reduces? It increases. Like a spark of fire, if you put it in a busa, that hay, the whole thing gets burnt. In the same manner, over a period of time, the bad habit tends to increase more and more. If you don't restrain it, consciously we have to restrain. If you don't make a conscious effort to restrain, it is going to increase. The nature of that, like beard grows, if you don't shave regularly, beard is going to grow longer and longer. You will see beard or mustache or whatever like that. It grows. Hair grows like that. So we are consciously restrain ourselves. So therefore those habits are given. Atyahara. How many times I have heard from devotees that, Prabhu, this Atyahara, this Udara Vegam or Atyahara, whatever, they say this is almost impossible to control. Before I begin prasad, I make up my mind, today I am going to eat less. But after finishing prasad, I realize I have overeaten. We all have that experience, correct? No? So many of these habits actually cling on to us. They become a very bad habit. Atyahara, prayasa, prajalpa, niyamagraha, janasanga, laulyam, shadvir bhaktir vinashyati. They are not very good. So bad things come very easily, which are not good for us. And good things are very important for us. They don't come very easily. So therefore, the seminar is important in that sense. I'll show you. I will get one PPT. And PPT will be more easy for you to understand these things than without PPT. Okay, you can see this. You see, gross body we all see, and subtle body is inside, and soul is the yellow one which you have shown. So the real problems of our thinking, attitude, behavior, all these things, where is it lying? In the subtle body. We are all such special beings, you see. See here, yellow band shows the soul, and the red band shows the subtle body, in which many unwanted acquired qualities are there. For example, water is pure when it comes from the sky. When it touches the ground, it becomes muddy. Similarly, innate qualities are pure, the yellow one which is shown. But the acquired quality means after the water touches ground, becomes muddy. Similarly, we have also gathered some muddy behaviors in this world. So here we have given some examples. These are all there in subtle body. Postponing tendency. Actually, for example, you need a hall for a program. So if you don't ask the managers in time, the day before Sunday you call up, what they will say? All the rooms are full. Correct, no? So, but 1 week before you write, nobody is going to complain, why are you writing so early? You can. So, but if you postpone, the last minute it becomes a big crisis. Then there will be no room to conduct class. Correct, no? Similarly, if you are inattentive in hearing, like somebody told you, there is a very, very nice program on, uh, Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, 5 to 7, there is a good program slate, please come. Somebody may say that, oh, I thought it is Sunday. They land up here on Sunday evening, 5 o'clock. Why? Because they are in, therefore I will never hear anybody who tells me with the mouth. I will tell them, put it down in writing. You send me SMS. One time I asked, what is the Bhagavatam verse number I have to speak on? I asked. So they said, on the phone they were saying, 1, 1, 3, 11, like that they were saying. And the second letter was not very clear what they said, because now it was very noisy. So I thought it is 1, 3, 11. And they said it is something else it was. Later on I went to the temple hall, the verse was different. So now I tell them, what do you do? Better you send me SMS. I can see it. Yeah. So therefore we may be inattentive, we may not hear it sometimes. Mood off. Mood off means actually sometimes, you, of course, you become mood off and you will not do your duty. Like it's cloudy day. Somebody says, somebody sitting in the office half a day not doing any work. I was asking, why are you sitting like this? I am very moody because cloud is very cloudy, so I am not having mood to work. That means they are controlled by the environment. Or somebody can become mood off because somebody scolded him in the morning. Somebody in the morning taunted him, and whole day he will be staring at the sky, or looking here, looking there. He gets mood off. Yeah, serious. These are serious ones. Not taking any initiative means lazy, and getting easily irritated for small things. Is also not a very good quality. Actually, the problem with these habits is they get cultivated more and more. The more we do them, they become our second nature. like this, he's easily irritated. If somebody gets irritated for every small thing, over a period of time, Krodha sanskaras develop around our head. So we are like a, what do you call it, like a matchstick. Head is like a matchstick. Like that immediately it catches. As soon as somebody says something, immediately. Inability in team playing. Actually, this I have taken as an example now. See, inability in team playing is a very important one. Not only in company, in devotee circle, it's all the more needed. Every one of you sitting here, if you are a leader of a group of devotees, you have to get some seva done during festival days. Correct now? Or you are a Bhakti Vriksha leader, you have a group of people, you have to, actually you are a team leader here, but sometimes you have to play with the team also. Even if you become a very senior man, like we have a core group in our temple, which has got about 6 leaders. They are all very senior people. They have a lot of mutual respect for each other. We have devotees like Prem Kirtan Prabhu, Narsimhaswati Prabhu, Madan Kumar Prabhu, we have Nagaraj Prabhu, we have Shripati Prabhu, Sri Ram Prabhu, correct? No? We have people like that, and also Murali Gopinath was coordinator. So when they have a good understanding of each other, in fact, I had given them Bhagavatam verses to come together and discuss. So they sit in a circle and they discuss, and such, wonderful, respectful behavior towards one another, appreciation of one another. So I heard 2 of the recordings of the Bhagavatam discussion. I asked them to send me the recording later on. They sent me. I saw how wonderfully they are conversing with each other, very peacefully situated and respectfully dealing with one another. There is no, what do you call it, no envy or hatred or this kind of thing. So then the whole community can blossom very nicely. In the same manner, and now that is equal association. They are playing in a team together. Many decisions they have to make together. We have an initiation committee also we have. Sometimes there may be differences in opinion or there will be no differences. What do you think? There can be differences. But when differences come, how do we work with each other? So how do you play in a team? Somebody says, no, Prabhu, this working with a team, humko jamta nahi, You tell me one thing to do, I will do it myself. Some people say like that. And they are actually called individual players, like lion. In Tamil, we call Tanikat Raja, we call it. That means he wants to be king of his own. And the only people he will like is people who nod the head. The head nodder, they are called yes men. Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Only those people he wants, which are very good people, they will say. Actually, a win-lose person connects very well with a lose-win person. That means people who are like lion-like people, they need people like rabbits, type of people. Like rabbits or a lamb or like a deer, that type of people they will like. He's a very good devotee. Why? Because whatever I say, he accepts. He never opposes anything. If another person comes, like another lion comes, I also have idea. They will say, no, I can't work with that. So therefore, this inability implying I have shown in the next slide more. And lacking loyalty to ISKCON, for example, it's very dangerous. Like one time it so happened in Pune that one counselee had brought one Vrindavan Babaji, somebody. Whether he is a Mayavadi or a Vaishnava, they didn't know that. Some Babaji from Vrindavan to their house. And this counselee called all the counselees in their group, and it sent WhatsApp message to everybody except the leader, the Bhakti Vriksha leader. Except leader, everybody is invited for the program. And how do you think the BV leader came to know? Anybody can say? No. But how will they come to know? The leader was not informed. Yeah. Who checked it? One counselee checked. One counselee called and said, Mataji, Prabhuji, can we go for this program? They are inviting some Baba from Vrindavan has come. They are calling us. He said, really? Who is that? Then the BV leader found out that this personality is calling everybody for the program except the leader. The leader called me and said, Prabhu, I am really wild. How can somebody do with a group like this? Now you feel like thrashing the person, correct? No? You didn't call me. So I said, don't thrash the person. They are innocent oftentimes. They're very innocent. They don't know what's wrong. Because this counselee was a new counselee. Recently, recently come to 16 rounds. They don't know the policy and all. So, first thing you do in your WhatsApp group, you send a message to everybody. Nobody should go for this. You send the thing. Hmm. And so this was sent to all the people first. Immediately you sent it. I said it was sent. And the reason was also given that we should not hear from unknown people. You cannot hear from, because what that verse said? If you avaishnava mukodgirno putam harikatamritam shravanam naiva kartavyam sarpochishta yatapayaha, it is said. Hearing from unauthorized sources is like drinking the milk which is touched by a serpent. Both milk touched by serpent, not touched by serpent look similar. But this touched by serpent milk will be poisonous, although it looks similar. If you drink it, it will kill our Krishna consciousness. So, after this was done, then I told the family couple that you call that particular thing and tell. Then she called that family lady and told, see, you are calling Babaji because of your family connection. 2-3 days Babaji has come to your house. They can stay, no problem, in your house. You can host them, but don't involve others. Because, we hear in Guru Parampara, and this person, from what you say, appears like a Mayavadi. He's wearing bhasma and all in his body. So in Vrindavan also, many people give Jnana Yajna, they call it. Jnana Yajna? Jnana Yajna actually means it is a Mayavadi. They will speak Bhagavatam, at the end they will say you have to merge in God. They will say that's called Jnana Yajna. Anywhere in Vrindavan, in the title you find the word Jnana Yajna, they are Mayavadis. That's only. So they will speak everything similar, very similar to what we are speaking. Finally, they will say that everything will become one. Supreme Brahman, Atmaso Paramatma, they will say like that. So, we had to handle it very carefully. And that Mataji became very upset. Why other councillors are not allowed to come? So, she was having a little argument with the leader, and later on the leader explained properly. So, it was settled peacefully. The idea is, somebody may lack loyalty to the organization for which they are working for. Loose dealing in opposite sex is even more deadly thing. It's very grave thing. We say Matravat Paradarish. Everybody should deal with opposite sex like a mother. Except one's own wife, one should deal with every other woman as a mother. So there is a Maryada, we call it. Maryada means there is a limit put. Even one is married also. Like for example, if one has to convey something to a Mataji, husband and wife should convey together to a lady, and that is very safe. Otherwise, if a man is counseling a woman or a woman is counseling a boy, it's very deadly for the like butter fire combination, you said. Similarly, the bad mouthing behind back is a very bad quality. It's put in grave, you can see that. In the absence of a devotee, we should never talk about them. Because they are not here to clarify. Correct, no? So therefore, it is considered a crime. Because if they were here, they would have given a reasoning why they are doing what they did. So without their presence, what happens, I'll tell you. For example, A and B are very senior devotees. And A tells some things about B to the subordinates. You understand? No? See, A, B, C, D, they are all are colleagues, senior devotees, A, B, C, D. They are all having the teachers, or they can be BV leaders or teachers or whatever. So now A tells something bad about B, fellow devotee. You understand? Fellow devotee. So then A's subordinates, when they look at B, that thought will come. They told B is not good. So then when they are dealing with B, and B can understand that these people are afraid of me to come near. That way the B can get an idea that somebody has put something in their ears. Hindi they call it Kan Bardena, they say, correct, no? Somebody will think like that. So especially this is a very important rule we have to follow. When you are working as a team of, for example, we have a team of Bhakti Vriksha leaders. We have a team of teachers of Bhakti Shastri. We have board of teachers, board of BV leaders. We have similar board for girls voice also we have. Team of girls voice leaders. Similarly for Brahmachari voice preachers we have a team of 8-10 of them. So wherever we are a board of people, You are equal. We have to take care that to the subordinates we don't talk ill of others. So our equals, we don't talk. Sometimes somebody comes and appreciates. Say A, B, C, D, E, they're all equal. So now A's subordinate comes and tells about B's group. Oh, Mataji, in B's group, they did such a wonderful thing. They all went there and they did this. I was very inspired to hear the news. Then A may ask, what do you think? Only in B's group it is happening? Did I not do for all of you last year? I took you there. Why didn't you tell about that? Why do you always glorify the other group? Like that you ask him. Then the counselor's face becomes very small. And then the counselor will go to another counselor and say, I went and told this, whatever was in my heart, I just spoke it out. And our leader is, talking ill of the B leader or C leader. What do you think? Hey, they all are big devotees, but all envious of one another. Like that, another fellow says. Then this devotee will lose respect for the senior. When they lose respect for the senior, can they advance in spiritual life? Very difficult. Very difficult. But see, one thing is true that every leader, along with their followers, may have certain flavors and the style of training. Like once my spiritual master said, see, Gauranga Prabhu is there, Radheshyam Prabhu, you are there. He even told his Grace Krishna Swaran Prabhu in those days. He said, Krishna Swaran Prabhu is there. He said, Kamalochan Prabhu is there. These are all youth preachers. But you may have certain emphasis. Like I may emphasize on discipline. Somebody else may emphasize on being more liberal, freedom. Somebody else may, emphasize on importance of deity worship. Somebody may emphasize on book distribution. Although these emphasis may vary from one preacher to another, ultimately all are working for the same organization. If you look at the 5 fingers, none of the fingers are alike. This finger has, it's a thumb for challenge. This is for Sambodhan finger. This finger is longest finger. Everyone is differently situated. It's called diverse. When diverse people come together and form a team, then the team will have effect. Like, you can hit somebody because they are working unitedly. Then your team will progress. But if diverse people say, imagine if this finger says, if all of you guys are not like me, you are useless. Imagine if thumb says like that. And this long finger tells thumb, hey, you are a short fellow, I don't want to be short like you. He is arguing. And it's just like if you see, Bhima never told the other Pandavas that, all of you should learn mace fighting like me. He never said that. Nor did Arjuna say, all of you should learn archery like me. Nor did Nakul say that, why are you guys not as handsome as me? He was very handsome. And Sahadev didn't say, I can even understand the language of animals. Why don't you guys learn from me? He didn't say that. None of them expected another person to be like them. They didn't clone others. They didn't force others. They didn't expect others to be replica of me. So, therefore, you will find to work in a team, we should cultivate the habit of not criticizing others who are doing similar service. Like I am book distributor, other book distributors. We should see their glory and appreciate. Rather than if somebody brings and tells me something good, we can think, even if envy is lurking in your heart, still you can externally speak in a way, what is ideal speech? Ideal speech should be first brought externally and then you can internalize it. Internally still some envy is lurking, still we can externally behave like a proper Vaishnava. How many of you feel that is possible? We can try to do that, correct now? That is possible. Eventually inner envy also can be rooted out over a period of time. Therefore, bad mouthing behind back is a very deadly quality. Sweet talking on face and bad mouthing on the back, it's a very bad quality. So, therefore, these are the things which are in our subtle body, especially in the mind, stored in the mind. And by self-awareness and self-observation, and coming to the platform of self-management, we will be able to manage our speech and attitude and thinking and behavior and all that in such a manner that we can get rid of these impurities over a period of time. See, now I am going to show you literally on how the wrong behavior and right behavior. Now here I am showing yellow one is right behavior and the red one is wrong behavior. So I want 2 of you to read. So one, like, here yellow reading person should have a very sweet voice. God works through many by giving them creative thoughts. Like that you should read. And here he said, my opinion is best. Like that you should read. Okay? Two of you. Who two will do it? Okay, you can do that? Yeah. Okay. Okay, do it. No, you have to speak in the mic.
God works through many by
No, mic sound is not coming.
God works through completely. God works through many by giving them creative thoughts. My opinion
No,
is
that
best.
another word, not you. Another word you should say.
My opinion is the best.
Yeah. That means this fellow thinks that, others cannot give any opinions. My opinion is the one, my way is the only way, things like that.
I'm open to good suggestions from my team. I consider I'm one of them.
Just like Lord Rama, he heard opinion from everybody, correct? No?
I am easily irritated. I am the boss. Just do what I say.
There are people like this, you agree? People say, just do what I say. Like sometimes devotees say, Prabhupada said, do what I have done and speak as I have spoken. Therefore, you should cooperate with me. That is Prabhupada. Huh? But they use the same thing. See, one time Prabhupada said, my intelligence and your cooperation, Prabhupada said. So some devotees also say, my intelligence and your cooperation. So people ask, Prabhu, you are not Prabhupada. Huh? Correct, no? So some people just want to be boss and they get irritated by any ideas or opinions, suggestions they don't like. They think, what is the reason why people don't like to take suggestions from many people? What is the main reason? Many reasons are there. Some of the reasons? Yeah? False ego, yeah, correct. One is false ego. What else? They have independent mentality. They think, I am the most knowledgeable and I am best informed. They think like that. What else?
Comparison.
Huh?
Comparison themselves.
What
with others.
comparison? Comparison with whom?
They think that I am the right.
I am right, yeah. They don't compare with anybody. They think I am perfect. I cannot be wrong. I am all knowing. It's called as I know it all syndrome. We call it kind of syndrome. Yes, Maji? They don't give creative freedom to others. They want others to just copy what they are doing and they don't give any freedom. Okay. That's true, yeah. They don't, yes. Ultimate controller. Yeah, they think themselves to be ultimate controller. Like Hiranyakashipu thought like that. Correct, no? Yeah. Credit. They also feel that if I give opinion, everybody follows, I will get the credit. Yeah. Yes. Read it. Mike. Yeah.
I'm grateful and appreciate of others' ideas. It makes my life easy.
Actually, it is not it's appreciative. It should be. Just 1 minute, I'll put it. Read it again.
I'm grateful and appreciative of others' ideas. It makes my life easy and brings other direction for team.
Yeah, it makes our life easy or not. Imagine if others are giving their ideas. Also, sometimes, some member of the team gives an idea and it goes very well. Everybody is happy. I am also happy. It saves my time and energy. And it also, team gets a direction. Who cares whether the direction came from me or one of the members of the team? Any of your experience of this in temple also? Like, for example, you were told to decorate the Jula, for example, on Jula and Yatra Day. So you took all your team of 8 and devotees and you have to decorate. And you are actually splitting your hair to find out what type of decoration we should do. One member of the team comes up and says, Prabhuji, Mataji, 4 years ago, I had made one very nice Jula decoration and I have it in my computer. Can I show it to you? How many of you will happily be willing to see that? You will see that, correct? So you see that and that person says, you leave it to me, I will decorate the whole jewel and show you. How many of you will accept? Correct, no? Yeah. And then you supply the team members to that fellow and he will get it all done. And then after the jewel is ready, then call everybody and give one big haribol to that devotee who did. That's what he's saying. I am grateful and appreciative of others' ideas. It makes my life easy and brings direction for the team. Now, some leaders who are little boastful leaders, they have a fear. Anybody can say, what is the fear they may have? In the Julian example. Anybody can say, other than two of you, anybody else can say? Why, what fear may come? Yes? Yeah? Credit will be lost. People will say, Are itna acha decoration, kiska idea hai? Then people will say that one member of the team grabs the credit and goes away. So the leader feels, then nobody will respect me as a leader. That fear comes. Correct, huh? That fear comes. Anything else? Any other reason? No? Yeah? Of course, he may use his power of his post to control the people and say that, no, your idea cannot be taken because who is the leader? I am the leader. So, ultimately, idea should come only from one great soul with a halo around the head. Who is that? That's myself. Like that one thinks. Correct, huh? One is unable to be open-minded to, receive others' ideas and opinions. Yeah. Yes?
Thinking others will do mistake. I will do perfectly.
That is the inability to place trust in others. Yeah, they may commit mistake. I can do best. Yeah. So you can read now.
I consider others giving opinion as insubordination and I badmouth about them.
Yeah. So then you give to Mataji's, let them speak. 3 next slides. I'm going to show now. Two you can give, I think. 2 you have? Yeah. Yes. Yeah, please read.
I'm not an all-knowing God. Let me hear from my friends too. I know it. I know it all. Don't tell me.
Yeah. There are some people who speak in this tone. I know it all. Don't tell me anything. I know what you're going to say. Some people say like that. Don't waste my time, like that they will say.
I am one of the members of this team, and I will work together to bring success in attaining team goals.
So, great leaders actually think I am one of the members of the team. See, my role is coordinator of the team. Just because I am coordinator doesn't mean I have 2 extra hands or something. Coordinator actually means if there are, say, 30 people with me, 20 people with me, everybody is given some role. You do this, you do this. I am also given one role, and that role is called coordinator role. That's to coordinate the service. So we should see ourselves as facilitators. We are facilitators. That's a very good word actually. Facilitator. Facilitator means you facilitate the coming of the people, doing of their services, and then reporting services. Basically, they want you to bring about the unity in the team, cohesion in the team, and then take it ahead. That's the whole purpose. So then I should see myself also as one of the members of the team. Now I'll tell you an example. Take the Rotary Club or take Lions Club. They perfectly follow this. Like they make a president only for 1 year. How many of you know that? You know that? Yeah. Only once in a year they change the president. Every year. So everybody knows you are only king for 1 year only. Next year another fellow, one of my friends will be the king. And they rotate like that. So therefore none of them feel that I am very special or something like that. Because everybody will be rotating and changing like that. So even in Madhva Sampradaya, you will find Paryaya is only for 3 years or 4 years. They change. Ashtamata Acharyas, they change. So 3-4 years they can worship the deity very personally, do something wonderful and push off. Like the Olympic torch, you carry. Imagine somebody is running with Olympic torch telling his friend, please take video, take photo, I'm running. Afterwards he's supposed to give it to another person. He says, no, I will only run. If somebody says, I cannot give it to anybody, how shameful it will be. You are supposed to hand over, then they will take it and take it ahead, and then they will hand over, and it will go on like that. Correct, no? So therefore, we should consider ourselves as one of the members of our team and work together to bring success in attaining team goals, you see. And opposite of that, you see.
I just can't do team playing.
Yeah. Like that some people say that, what is this working together with others? I just can't. I just want people to agree what I am saying like that.
I will tolerate my ego even if my original idea is rejected and is substituted by another better idea of my team members.
This is height really. Not very easy to think like this. Because people feel if somebody negates my opinion, it's like cutting my nose. They feel like that. Even if the other person's idea is better than mine. In fact, they feel great pinch or pain or fear that in case my idea is proven to be inferior and my subordinate's idea is proven to be superior, then it's likely that, then he will be the leader of the team and I have to be his subordinate. Like that they fear. Therefore, we should know it's not your idea or my idea, it's a better idea. It could be a combination also.
I quit the team.
Yeah. Some people quit the team out of fear. Huh? Yeah. So how many of you feel that this is very much applicable even to devotee communities? You feel that? Or is it only applicable in companies? Very much applicable. We are also organization. You can see that. So I took one acquired habit I took and I elaborated in these 2 slides. Inability in team playing. So that's what I showed it. In the same manner, you can do this for every other habit also. See, where does our acquired qualities come from? See, for example, one is based on experience. Like dogs bark and you are afraid of dogs. From that, you develop a fear of dogs, generally. And social roles and norms. See, everybody is wearing a certain type of dress. Then when you live in such a society, then how many of you observed the kids? They go by the fashions always. You have observed that? Fads and fashions, we call it. In my school days, when I was in 7th standard or something like that, 6th or 7th standard, I asked my father, I want a bell bottom. My father asked, a bell bottom? And he was not aware what is a bell bottom. Then I brought it from one of my friends and showed it. My father said, this is like a girls wear this lanka they call it, no? Skirt, yeah. Full. Girls wear lanka they call it in Telugu. What they call it? Huh? Huh? Langa. Langa is saying. Langa means like a long one after. So you were selling bell bottom, you want this much. If this is a feet, 3 times that. So my father was laughing, but I wasn't laughing because many of my friends were wearing. So then we made a bell bottom. After that Diwali day, wore a bell bottom. Father was saying, it's strange. Why boys are wearing this? Within 1 or 2 years, it was gone. Again, people came back to pant again. So that's what he's saying here. The society sets many norms for you. You imitate the people in society. In the same manner, you will find also, different people keep different type of mustache nowadays and different type of beard. Some people keep hair like this. So many things they do. You have seen that? Yeah. Similarly, you find women also tear here, this place, here place, they tear. You've seen that. It's a sign of passion. Yeah. Provoking type of dresses people wear. Where does it all come from? Imitation. Copying fads and fashions. Another thing is saying classical and operant conditioning. This is conditioning coming from advertisements. For example, drink this liquor, you will feel a kick or whatever. Or buy this, like they say, buy this Lifebuoy soap and you will be happy. I don't know what is the connection of soap and happiness. Yeah, anything they say. Like you can see the cigarettes, like a boy and girl are smoking a cigarette and there's a waterfalls nearby and they say, smoke this cigarette and feel cool. So my spiritual master was saying, you are taking fire inside, how can you feel cool? He's making you a fool, he said. One of the lectures he was selling. So, but this type of advertisements make us foolish also. And fourth one is saying, observing people in environment. Like this boy is walking, he's observing his uncle is smoking. Then the boy thinks, okay, when I grow up, I can also smoke. Simply by, here uncle didn't tell him to smoke. These are called as more things are caught than taught. Yeah. Observing and learning. So these are ways by which we learn our experience, social norms, advertisements, and learning, observing and picking up. Yeah, many of the things come from these things. Attitude formation, you say. And also we learn from our parents, from teachers, from grandparents, association also. And also at the right side you find the books we read, movies we watch, music that we hear, friendships that we keep. So all these things, these are the things from which our attitudes have developed. So these are the 3 things in self-awareness, self-observation we have to change. Behavior, thinking and attitude. Out of the 3, which is the most deepest? Yeah. Actually, the thinking, the thought is in the mind, but attitude is in the heart. What is the difference between mind and heart? Mind is called man, heart is called chitta. Huh? So the word chitta, what is it? It's subconscious mind. Huh? See, a glacier has 90% inside and only the tip of the iceberg is outside. So what you have in your mind is only the tip of the iceberg. Huh? But the attitude is a much deeper thing than thinking also. Huh? That resides deep inside. And that is coming from previous lifetimes also. Huh? It is in subconscious mind. So many of us, we are not aware of the subconscious thing. Therefore, you will find sometimes even a man of good behavior, character, sometimes does a big blunder. Huh? Because suddenly some subconscious traits come up. Huh? For example, I'll tell you, there is a mistake of the mind and mistake of the heart, we say. Well, I'll tell you the difference between the two. Mistake of the mind means due to overseeing something, or what do you call it? Say, for example, you put your, you put your sandak shoe outside. You know sandak? How costly is sandak shoe? 100 rupees. Huh? It's very cheap, 100, 200 rupees maximum. And somebody has put their leather shoe, which is 3,000 rupees. Huh? In those days, sandak shoes were only 50 rupees. Now it may be 200, 300 rupees, I think, probably. Somebody has put a leather shoe which is 3,000 rupees. So you came to the class while going, you wore the leather shoe and you went away. And the reason could be what? Because both shoes are looking similar. So it's called a mistake of the mind, we call it. Mistake of the mind means unknowingly you wore it and went away. And mistake of the heart means you plan it. Yeah. You think that I'll bring a similar shoe, like a sandak type of shoe, and I'll put it and I'll take this costly one and go away. You planned it. That is mistake of the heart. That is attitude problem. So it's more serious. Attitude problem is more serious. Like Ajamila, for example, when he went to the forest to pluck flowers, his intention was good or bad? Huh? No, intention was good. He had no problem. Huh? But then he saw a sight, a dirty sight he saw, and after seeing the sight, he was disturbed. Correct, no? So a weakness arose in his heart. Ideally speaking, you should come back to father and tell him. Correct, no? You should have done that. Or father will take him to some Guruji and Guruji must have given some sermons. That didn't happen. But after coming home, he made a plan. I will bring this prostitute as a servant maid in my home. And I'll drive away the wife and parents. So that is mistake of the mind or heart? Heart. Because what he saw the sight, and then he was hiding behind a tree and watching that sight, that was mistake of the mind at the early stage. But eventually it became the weakness of heart. The weakness became wickedness. The weakness is in the mind. Wickedness is in the heart. Actually, from weakness point only, we should turn into victory, rather than turning into wickedness. So the attitudes are very deep. For example, sometimes your alarm clock, it's ringing in the morning. Now you put a snooze. Correct, no? You put a snooze. So that you can get up in 5 minutes. Correct, now? You have a plan to get up. But somebody switches off only, doesn't put snooze. What is that? That means you have made up your mind not to get up. So we say there are two types of sleepers. One is sleeper, one is pretending sleeper. So sleeper means he sleeps off without knowing the Banglarati timing. You go and touch him, he'll jump up from the bed. He'll go to the bathroom, sorry Prabhuji, night it got a little late, I was very tired. He's a sleeper. Huh? And a pretending sleeper means you touch him, he will turn around and sleep on the other side. Huh? Again you touch him this side, he will sleep. Huh? You tell him, Prabhuji, it is very time. He will say that, I think I am sick, he will say. So then you tell him, would you like to have some tablets, Saridone or Anacin, or would you like to have some, paracetamol or something? Oh, no, I don't think, it is not that serious that I need a tablet. But I think I am sick, he says. So is he really sick or not? What do you think? Therefore he says, I think. Huh? Actually, it is a mistake of heart. It's not mind. He has made up his mind not to get up. You understand? That's called a pretending sleeper. So which sleeper can be woken up? Sleeper can wake up or pretending sleeper? Huh? Pretending sleeper cannot wake him up. So the attitude problems are very, very deep. Huh? Attitude problem means, Like for example, you say that, Prabhuji, I heard that because the initiation board did not choose your name. You spoke some ill words. Like that you say that. Then if he says that, no, Prabhuji, how can I speak ill of all the devotees? I felt that, there are certain important qualifications of mine which I had sent by later mail. They have not seen it. Therefore, I felt a little bad, but I cannot criticize Vaishnavas. They are all great souls. Somebody says like that, that's one thing. Another person you say, Prabhu, I heard that you criticized the initiation committee. And then you say, फिर क्या? आपको मालूम है वो लोगों ने क्या किया? Like that somebody is asking. That means mistake of heart. That means he is convinced that his criticism is valid. So it's dangerous or not? What do you think? Dangerous. On the other hand, no, Prabhuji, they are all Vaishnavas. How can I criticize? That means it's a mistake of the mind. It is very superficial. It can be cured. It can be removed. Like that. Therefore, the attitude is a very deep thing. See here, for each of it, I'm going to tell you now. There are three things now here: thinking, attitude, and behavior. Okay. So let us change the thinking. How do you change the thinking? Two things you have to do. First one is change your thinking by self-awareness. Like see here, the habit. These are the different ways you can think about your habit. That means choice based on values, not feelings. I'll tell you what is the meaning of this. Choice based on values. Okay, one example I gave you, obesity example. I'll tell you with that example, it will be easy for you. What is value? That I will do yoga, I will eat only salads, and I will not eat junk food. Three things I told you, correct, no? And I will live by this value, then I will have a slim body, then I can do more seva. I'll be very healthy. I want to keep my body healthy for what? To do Krishna service. But if I have obesity body, I feel very lazy, I sleep more, I eat more, and I become a good for nothing fellow. Not much is happening. My body like a truck, I have to lift it and carry it with me wherever I go. So you feel like that. So then you want to be slim and trim and you want to be very active. So the value is what? I want to serve Krishna. I want to make Vaishnavas happy. And by keeping my body healthy, I can do wonders. So for that, I have to do these three things and I will stick to it at any cost. I'm not going to... on the other hand, going by feelings means what? Actually, I said I will go for jogging every morning, but today I think it is cloudy. Others are saying, no, Prabhuji, there is no cloud, come out and see. No, I think it's cloudy. It maybe looks little dim, And then you will see next 4 or 5 days, you will not go for this thing at all. Then you ask, why you didn't go, No, now I am not going, but whichever day I start, I will keep it going after that. Then you ask him, which is that golden day when you will start it? So that I don't know. You have seen the people say that? That means for 365 days, you can have 365 excuses. You will see that. So many people have this problem. They go by the feelings of the mind. See, mind goes by impulses, feelings, emotions, lethargy, and all those things. So if you want to do something wonderful in life, you have to go by values. You have to stick to the values. That's the whole point. So now here you see this person, right side person, after doing self-awareness, he has understood. What he understood? She has given a heading there. What is the heading? Now I understood that I am too much attached to my opinion. Read below. Read it. Who has the mic with you? Yeah.
My team members say that I don't hear their opinions. They also say that I get very upset when they present their opinions. In tomorrow's meeting, let me learn to speak less and listen more.
See, is it difficult? You can implement. Basically he has to do only one thing in tomorrow's meeting. What is it? He has been like a chatterbox, too much talkative, pushing his opinion. Now tomorrow he has to learn the art of, okay, let me listen more and then let others speak up. Maybe they'll feel more nice that I allowed others to speak. Correct, no? So in this way, this is how we can change our thinking. One more thing I have to do is change your thinking by positive attitude. Yeah, read it. Please. Yeah, you can read this also.
And surely hear others.
Oh, mic, in the mic. It's getting recorded.
I'll surely hear others' opinion. That will improve my relationships in the long run.
Yeah. Like that he says. And what is negative thing?
Oh, I just can't stand people spending long hours in meetings. I'll push and get things done my way.
See, yeah. That means, after self-awareness, the thinking can be changed. It can be positively, we should think. Huh? So here you see that I will surely hear others' opinion, like Lord Rama heard opinions of all the Vanaras. I will also hear others' opinion. And if I hear others' opinion, relationships are developed. Correct, no? People feel nice. Then our team will be very cohesive team. So why I have shown a rose here? Because the left side boy, his consciousness is like a rose. And the right side boy, his consciousness is like a thorn. So in the garden, if you send this fellow to garden, he will see roses. And that boy will say, garden is full of thorns, he will say. Correct, no? So that means he is seeing only the problem. Other fellow is seeing. So this is the way we have to think in every situation. So all of us, when we are put in any given situation, we should be able to see both plus and minus in every situation and be able to, uh, identify the spark and fan the spark and make the positive side very big, like that. So you understood the thinking. These are the only two things you have to do: self-awareness to observe what is in our mind, and then positive thinking positively like this, making a plan to bring about improvement. And the second thing is changing our attitude. Only one thing you have to do for changing attitude. What is it? Accept responsibility. That's all you have to do. Huh? Can somebody explain what it is? Accepting responsibility. You answered already. Somebody else can answer. What is the meaning of accepting responsibility? Anybody else? And here one mic was there, I think, Maji. You take it. Give one mic here. Here also one mic, there also one mic. Where is the other mic? You can answer first and then you will answer. Go ahead.
Like if something goes wrong, then we are ready to take the blame that, yeah, it was because of me. And if we
Okay.
are a leader also, and if our mentees or those who are subordinate to us, if they also do wrong, then we are ready to take the responsibility.
Yeah, it's very close to what I was expecting. Not blaming others for everything. Willing to find out what can I do to do things differently. What was your point?
Like following the instructions of seniors
Okay.
and accepting responsibility on behalf of them.
Oh, that is a different thing. Accepting responsibility, what you are saying, I understand. For example, if seniors have given you some seva, you take responsibility for the seva and complete it in on time. That is also responsibility. Here, what is he talking about? Changing our attitude. I'll tell you, for example, yesterday evening you were talking to one devotee, standing at the entrance of the temple. 2.5 hours went away. You were standing, your leg was also paining, you changed your leg, this leg you stood and this leg you stood. Finally, you came back. And then you started your talk at 6:30 and by 9 you ended. And then after event, next day morning, you go and tell other people, this fellow wasted my 2.5 hours yesterday. That means you are blaming the other person. If a person with right attitude, what he will say that, oh, I have been a little careless yesterday. I spent 2.5 hours with that devotee. It wasn't necessary. I could have finished out the talk in half an hour. It wasn't a trivial thing. We were talking so many useless things. I have so many important responsibilities to fulfill. And I wasted my 2 hours. So next time, who will be careful? That is called accepting responsibility. You understand, no? Now another example I'll ask you. In your temple here, or in your profession, or at home also, these attitudes matter a lot. Say, let us take, for example, learning, studying. Somebody will only study when you have to give a lecture. Only for the lecture he may prepare. Otherwise, we may not study. Right now. Or somebody says that, you see, Prabhu, now I am already 50 or I am already 40. No, I can't give exams and all now. Now people say like that, correct? No? But in company, they study so many new things. And there they have to pass so many courses and all, even though you are old also, correct? No? You'll find. So, what is our attitude to learning? We should always, there's a book by Steve Jobs, he says, stay hungry, stay foolish. You know that? Stay hungry means always be eager to learn more. Stay foolish means Never present yourself to others that I know everything. If you, even though you may be knowing a lot, you behave as if you don't know. You be curious. Those are the two words he uses. Stay hungry, stay foolish, he says. So, especially very, very learned people have these two qualities. They are always eager to learn more. And also they behave as if they don't know, but they already know a lot of things. So, that is in learning, I am telling you. Similarly, in seva also, if some seva was given to you, I will do the service and I am done and now I am relaxing. That is one type of attitude. Another attitude is, okay, whatever seva they have given, I am doing it, but I can improve the quality of my service. And also, I can also stick my neck out of the window looking for more sevas. Then they'll be very happy. In fact, those who become HODs in departments, most of them are people who look for more opportunities to serve. They are only made the head. You'll find. Because they are growing people, not people who are stagnated people. Stagnated people means what? Most people outside also have seen. The company job also, they do it. Once work given is finished, they'll be watching some YouTube. They'll be watching TV. You will see that. They are not looking forward to how to improve the current service and how to look for new opportunities. How can I develop my field? That kind of thing they don't think. So that is about, attitude towards work or seva or something, or attitude towards learning. What is your attitude towards change? How many of you don't like change? Honestly, only a few hands up, about 4, 5 hands. Here, nobody, all of you like changes, huh? So like change after change after change. Huh? See, change means what? Like for example, earlier man was using all accounts, notebooks and everything. Now everything has come tally software now. Correct, no? And it was very difficult for Indians to adapt this tally software in the beginning. Because going from, it's correct, no? Earlier notebook, which was the year they changed from notebooks to computer? 2001, yeah. Many offices, there was a big protest, correct, no? People don't like change. Automation, yeah, correct. Similarly, in our temple, Bhakti Vrikshas have been going on in temple. Now there is a scarcity of space. So they were requesting that let Bhakti Vrikshas be moved out. So do you think people will like the change? Because they couldn't even think of it. They said, how is it possible in this world that Bhakti Vrikshas can happen outside the temple? Who will come? Correct, no? But our Vimal Prabhu was very confident. Vimal Prabhu said, then we will go hold home to home. Correct, Prabhu? Already he started that. So there were a few who were confident. That means ready for change. Some change is brought about and ready for change. And sometimes when a plan is made, people's minds become set. And there are any example you can give? You heard a plan and your mind became set and you are not ready to change. For example, Vrindavan Yatra was planned this year, Me and Vishwarup Prabhu were planning to take. Something like 400-500 devotees were registered. Everything was well said. But then call came from Vrindavan. They said, don't come. There is COVID rampant in north. So don't come. So last minute we had to change. So some people are very unhappy. They said, how can you arrange yatra and cancel it? We cannot tolerate. So I told them, see, we were worried about only one thing, to taking elderly people. One elderly person gets COVID. His family members will make big halla gulla, correct, no? So that's what we considered. There were many youngsters also. But for the sake of protection of the elders, we were ready to forego the yatra. Somebody said, Prabhu, what if last minute COVID doesn't come there? I said, we have waited for some time. So uncertain things, it's better not to keep any uncertainty. So we didn't go. So some people are disappointed. And so some people don't like change. But we should be, person with a good attitude means he is ready. How many of you don't like last minute assignment? You don't like last minute assignment. See, good number of people don't like. But actually modern day life has become like that. Last minute changes, last minute things do come. What we call in temple, we call it as ad hoc service. We call it as ad hoc service. Like for example, you expected, some 800 people for a festival in temple, but 2,000 people turned up. Due to some reason, sometimes many people turn up, even on a weekday also sometimes. Then the temple kitchen people have to cook. More than double they have to cook. Imagine none of the kitchen people are there. All the kitchen people cooked prasad and then they locked the kitchen and they went away. There is nobody available. and you are all leaders, you are supposed to serve prasad, and prasad is only for 800 people, what you will do? What you will do? It's an example of sudden crisis, correct, no? Actually, when you should bother about it? During the prasadam serving time or before? Much before that. As the crowd is swelling, triple size, double size becoming, immediately you go and meet the general managers and tell them, please give the kitchen key. We will arrange a team to cook it, you know. And if you cannot make the feast for everybody, nobody actually may be demanding the feast. Some people want something to put in the belly. Huh? Something quick to make. What will you make? Anybody? Huh? Khichdi is very easy to make. You know, whatever is easy to put in khichdi, you can put. Pongal. You can make pongal. So, imagine if you are a leader, you should be ready for the change. Suddenly some changes come, okay. Some adjustment you made like that. And then, now what happens in this, I will tell you. Many leaders, the first thing they will do is to criticize the kitchen team. These people are irresponsible. These guys have dropped everything and gone away. You know, do they have any common sense? Such a big crowd of people have come. See, those people are doing work. If you told them in advance, they will stay back. But if you didn't tell them on time, they would have gone away. So the blaming means our attitude is good or bad? Bad attitude. So good attitude means what? You know, I can't change other people, but I can modify my behavior. Correct, no? Yeah. So I have a Canada lecture now in a few minutes. So 7:30 starting, and prior to that I have to get ready with something. So today 7:30 to 8:30 I have that. I am supposed to end this by 7, 5 to 7 today. But how many of you found it interesting? Valuable? Okay. So I'll continue this next time you come. Now we have only done thinking. Now attitude also and behavior also we will do. And then we will get into the notes. It'll make a lot of sense after that. Okay? Shri Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.